All right, you all are here today for the Information Technology Intermediate Focus on Microsoft Office Applications. The first one that we're going to kind of go through two different phases with Microsoft. We're going to do Word and Excel. And if time permits, I want to show you some handy things with Outlook as well. So we're going to go ahead and start with Microsoft Word. One of the things that I want to share with you all, if you are familiar and along the top under the chat there, I'm sorry, not under the chat, under the, where are the funny little emojis?
When we scroll down below on the black, then the reactions button.
Perfect, thank you. So if you all want to do some reactions on the screen, I'm totally cool with that. But who is familiar with Smart Lookup? And you can, put it in the chat. You can put yes, you can do thumbs up. You can give me a smiley face if you're familiar with what Smart Lookup is. But basically what Smart Lookup is, and remember, Microsoft is a product of their own, and they have their own search engine called Bing. So what Smart Lookup is you can take a word or a phrase and you can do a Smart Lookup, which eventually turns into just a Bing search, like a Google search. It's the equivalent, it's just Microsoft's version. And people can use that to like instantly explore or define a word or phrase, right? So you can do a web search that will give you a web search about a word or a phrase, or you can just get a definition for a word. And we have, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a document that I am using. And this is just a formatting one that you all are going to be seeing as well, but go ahead and demonstrate how this works. You can see I went on the word formatting, and as soon as you do that, it pulls up the Smart Lookup on the right where you can explore or define is what I was talking about. So let's go ahead and put that into practice. I'm going to close this out and act like it never existed. And I'm going to go formatting in Word. From here, there's a couple of ways that you can get to the Smart Lookup. Really, the easiest way to do it is just to right click. But if you are not a clicker on your mouse and you'd rather just get to where it lives in the document, it's going to live under Insert. Okay. And then you're going to, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. There we go. So on the Smart Lookup, you're going to right click and do Smart Lookup. And then what it's going to do is open up this window over here. Now, because I did formatting in Word, right, it's going to start giving me a lot of Word documents. What this does is this saves you from having to toggle between screens, although I love a good toggle. It kind of gets rid of that toggling between screens or getting out of this screen and going to an Internet Explorer or some type of Bing search. And you can just go ahead and click these directly from here and then go to the document that you want to. Did it flip over for you all to see how it went to that WikiHow? And then if you want to just get a definition for a word, I can put in the word just formatting, do a right click, Smart Lookup, and it will give me definitions. So where I thought this would be really good in our world is in those spaces where maybe you're doing a letter for your director or your principal, and they've already, they've kind of given you some words and you're typing this out, but you want to know what these words mean in case you get like calls back on it. Maybe they're talking about something about House Bill 410 or something. You can do HB 410, look that word up quickly by just, getting a quick source view of what that is, either by definition or by internet search. All right. The other thing with Smart Lookup is that's also available in Excel. So when you are in a cell in Excel, you just do the same function. You right click and go into the Smart Lookup feature, and it will look that up for you. Sometimes with
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you do that one more time?
absolutely. And while I'm going back to it, just know too that, and I'll go to a Columbus, like our Columbus City School homepage. And well, no, I'll do that on another one. But just keep in mind, the first time that you use it, it may ask you, hey, I need to access your document. Just click OK. It's just, we have protections with our Microsoft accounts. It's just Microsoft wanting to see the words on your paper. So it's okay if you hit OK. So anywhere in your document, I can go here. I could take a whole paragraph. I could take just a sentence. I could just take a word. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And so I would be like, oh, I want to know how does a Microsoft allow me to apply different formatting? And once you have whatever it is that you want to look up highlighted, you simply right click on your mouse or your keypad. And for my clickers on the mouse or the keypad, if you haven't heard me say this before, know that when we right click, that's us doing something, right? I want to click and make my cursor go here. I want to click and go to that page, right? That's our left click. I want you to think of your right click on your mouse or your keypad as your information source. And the information source, your right click, will change depending on what document you're in, what you're trying to do. Like if I'm right clicking on highlighted document, will look very different if I just highlight something else. So just know that right click is like I'm getting ready to tell you to do something, computer, okay? So let's go ahead and highlight this again from here. I'm gonna do that right click. I need to do something. And then I'm going to left click because now I'm telling it what to do. And I click Smart Lookup. And it's going to automatically, first, it's going to default to explore the web for you. And after that, it's define. And if it's a sentence, an incomplete sentence like this, right, it's not going to know what to define. But if you just had a word like formatting and wanted to Smart Lookup that, it would then give you the definition for the word. Is that good? All right. Okay, so the next, yep.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No
When
worries.
you are using the Smart Lookup tool itself, and say you are in the process of sending an email and you're trying to look for like maybe a different word that may be part of the definition or like an example, does that come up in Smart Look also?
Oh, gotcha. It does not come up in Smart Lookup. It's gonna just kind of give you just the definition, but what you can do in those situations, when you right click here, it's gonna give you the synonyms. So right under Smart Lookup, it'll do the same thing for you. Did you see that? Is it showing on my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect, you're welcome. And then you can, and if you don't like any of these, just go into your thesaurus and it'll open it up over here. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's move on to the next one is Quickparts. So Quickparts is a lot of fun. Again, I thought this was a good one to share in our space. When I thought about this one, I started thinking of things like logos and like my email signature or web addresses that I direct people to pretty frequently. And I'm really good at bookmarking, but doing this Quickparts is just as convenient. So I want to share it with you, and I want you to think of it like bookmarking, but it's really for Microsoft. It's not for internet. It's just for the Microsoft Office application. So it's more of an application than it is an internet process. So What is Quickparts? I want you to think of this as like a gallery of reusable parts. And when we talk about parts, and I just use parts because they call it Quickparts, but really parts are just like pictures, phrases, like I said, email signatures, district logos, things like that. And then we use them to insert into your document. And I want to go ahead and share with you how we can do some of this. Now, the document I'm going to share with you this time is a document that I created for another training at another time. If this is something that you all are interested in, it is out on our intranet site, but I can also just email it to you. This is how to set up an email signature on either the web version of Outlook or the client version of Outlook. And so I pulled this up because I wanted to use my email as an example. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Quickparts. I had to move you all down just a little bit. There you go. So when we talk about Quickparts, the first thing I want you to know, it lives on, again, we are on a Word document. This is our Word portion of this training. We're on a Word document. It's just a document I put together to show you how to, do your email signature. But down here at the bottom is what I'm going to use. And when you want to use this Quickparts, you want to be on the Insert tab. So I want you to think like I'm collecting a bunch of stuff that I'm going to insert later. So I need it on my Insert tab. Okay. When you're over here, you're going to see, when you're on your Insert tab on your bar, you're going to see the Quickparts right over here, almost to the right of your bar, your taskbar. Okay. Here's what we're going to do with this one. So this is my email signature that lives on my email every time that I reply to an email or I start a new email. And I want this, maybe I want this to also just sometimes be at the end of a letter that I send out to parents every week. Maybe I'm doing their, I do a follow-up on their students' progress for the week. And maybe you want a formal signature in there. It doesn't have to look like this. It can look like anything. But if you don't want to have to always type it, you just want it in there. What you do is you highlight whatever it is that you want to make a quick part, right? So something you're storing. Once you have that highlighted, you're going to pop on over here to the Quickparts, and you want to do the drop down button here. You're going to see that I already have some here because I have been using them, but I'm going to act like these aren't here. Yours will look like that eventually too. But when you do the Quickparts and you do the drop down, and I will be sharing the presentation with you all in the chat as well when we put the survey in the chat so that you all have the links to all of these documents that I'm sharing with you. So when you click that Quickparts, you're going to come down to the bottom that says Save Selection to My Gallery. Once you get here, you get to name these, right? So I would name this one My Signature. And then I can say, where do I want this to live? I want it to live on my Quickparts. See, we have other areas, but that's not what we're doing today. This means I want it to live here in this Quickparts. Now, what category do I want it to live in? What you are going to get when you first do this, it's always going to default to general. General is going to be a list of not only ones that you, Quickparts that you've stored in there, but also Quickparts that Microsoft suggests for you. And sometimes the list can get really, really long. So I like to control my own folders, if you will. So for me, instead of just living in general, I want to say where it's going to live. So I can come down here and do create new category. And I can call this, I had Debby, right? So if I just call this Debby, then I know this is my stuff that I need that's specific to me. And then I go ahead and click OK. So now when I go ahead and insert a new page, and I come here and I want to go ahead and insert my email or my signature. I'm done with my letter. I say thank you, comma, do a space. I come over, right? I'm on the Insert tab. I come over to my Quickparts. It's going to be, eventually as you build this out, you'll have a lot. It's going to show up, but if it doesn't show up, you just go to Building Block Organizer. That's where they live. And then you are going to find by name. I forgot what I named it. Signature. Sorry. So you can come down here to Signature. And there it is. Okay. The other thing that I thought was really, really cool with this is the website thing. And I just want to show you for time purposes. I already have one saved. But really with this one, you just go to Quickparts, and right here I have the CCSOH homepage. And so now it's in there. I can post this into my letter that I'm writing, or maybe I'm creating a process and procedure and I want to go ahead and link the board document, right? I can have a folder up in my Quickparts that's called board docs or process and procedure, something along those lines. And you can go and pull that information from there. And remember, you get to label them. So this could be, I could label this CCS homepage in my library, okay? Any questions on the Quickpart? And again, with the logos, just like this carried over my logo from my signature, it really is, you can go capture a logo or a phrase. You can do from the internet, as long as you copy it and put it in a Word document and then save it to your Quickparts. I know a lot of people like to have those motivational signatures or statements at the bottom. Maybe you have a folder of those so that you can switch those out with the season, or maybe with the, you know, how you're feeling that day. So lots of things you can do with those, just things that you use repetitively. Okay.
I have a question when you are relating to the Quickparts.
Yes.
When you went to the Quickparts, it was a part where it said, I think, can you click on it again?
Yep. Yes.
The website, how did you get that? Is that already built in there? Like, say you wanted to insert a website.
Oh, perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll show you how I did it. So the first thing I did, and let me go back here. So if I go to, for example, the parent portal page, and this was something that I thought was really important to be on letters that go home, is this link, right? And remember that when you create a Word document and you send that Word document electronically, those links still work. So it doesn't have to be a live document for that link to work. But so now that I'm on this page that I want to go ahead and direct my parents to, all you do is come up here to the web address up at the top and you highlight it. And all I did was right click and hit copy, or you can Control C on your keyboard. Then I'm going to go back to my Word document, because we have to first create it in here so that it has somewhere to live, right? If we're going to be using these in our Word documents, then this is where we want to save them. And you can, your Word parts library will stay the same for every new document that you open. It's not limited to saving only within the document you're in. It's a library that will save for all documents. So now that I'm here back on my Word document, I'm going to go ahead and just paste that web address and hit enter so it gets me the link. And then I just highlight this. I come up to my Quickparts. I want to save selection to my gallery. And then I'm going to pick here. So this one right here, I could, instead of having the web address name, we can personalize this. I can call this parent portal page. I want it to be part of my Quickparts, but maybe I don't want it to live under my general. I want it to live under this folder that I have called websites. I want it to be saved in my building blocks. That's right where we go get our library. And when we get down here to insert content only, that's what you're gonna most of the time default on. These other ones are gonna turn it into a new page or a new paragraph. If you're just trying to link data, you just wanna give them the access, do that. So now, when I come back down here, I insert a new page. I come back up to my Quickparts and I go down to my building block organizer, right? That's where I'm going to go find my stuff. Categories, oops, name. And what did I name that? It's in my websites. There's got I want a search feature.
Was it parent portal?
Thank you. And you know, for me, I'm a Control F. So if you Control F is your friend, it's the find. And these will get so long that sometimes you need a friend. So I just did Control F and started typing parent portal to find the one I was looking for. I can insert it, and there is that website right there. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, moving on from the Quickparts, I'm going to go into removing unwanted formatting. I know that a lot of times, right, why reinvent the wheel? We share documents a lot. Some of these documents, start as electronic documents, and then they're a stagnant document, and formatting is going to get, you really want to use some of their content because it's really good, but the formatting is not how you want it to be. And we never know what somebody's formatting is behind the scenes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we can clear formatting. I'm a shortcut key person again. So the shortcut key for clearing formatting is the Control plus the space bar, just so we know. I'm going to go ahead and point out this little clear all formatting button that we will see when I go back into my Word document. And of course, y'all will have your instruction sheet when I send the PowerPoint over. So let's go ahead and go back into my clear formatting paper. So this is something that I copied over to use as my example for showing how to clear formatting. I pasted this. What I want you to think about when we go to paste information, there's usually three different options for you. So let me go ahead and copy that. I'm going to come to the bottom. When we right click and paste on with our mouse, we have these different options, right? And so you get to keep text only, just so you know that's going to take away all formatting. So will that. This wants you to merge formatting. So if there's more than one formatting, just kind of make it sense to make one. But this is just keeping source formatting. And a lot of times what happens in human nature and just being quick, and maybe not even understanding, and I've done it for years, is we quickly come down here, we do our right click to paste, and we just take our first one, right? Which leaves all of that formatting stuff that we were talking about. So in order to clear formatting, and you're going to want to take this into consideration with the document that you're using. If you know the whole thing is a scrap and I just want to clear all of my formatting, I want the content, I don't want the formatting. The best and easiest way to do that is to just highlight all of your information on the page and then clear the format. So of course, we can use lots of different ways to highlight it all. We can click and drag so we get everything. We can use our Control, Alt, and our arrow key to highlight. Or you can just do the Control A. So the Control button again is giving the system a command, and the A is for all. So it's saying highlight everything. So once you do your Control A, if you know you want everything cleared out, when you're on your home button, the easiest thing to do, this little A, which is your formatting, and then the eraser to erase it. So you're going to click that and it takes away all of your formatting. You see now that I don't have, and I'll go ahead and do a Control Z is like your undo and a Control Y is your redo. So I'm going to do that so you can quickly see how we lost our bullet points. We kind of lost some of our spacing. So there it is. We lost our headers, right, with our bold and our bigger text. And when I take all of that out, it really takes you back to the beginning, okay? Now let's say, you know, that's great. I really like all of these headers. It's just all of the text in between, right, that I'm not necessarily fond of. And all I'm doing here is highlighting an area and then holding my control button and then highlighting another area. And when I get here, maybe these are just the only 2 sections that I want to go ahead and clear formatting for. Again, I can just click this, it takes it off. It does not touch the rest of the document. And it allows you to start over and put in, maybe you don't want bullets here. Maybe you just want these to be sentences. Another way that you can clear your formatting. Nope, I lied. I'm thinking of a different program. So that is clearing your formatting so that you can still reuse somebody's information and content, but kind of make it your own, okay? When we talk about getting pictures and when we talk about getting pictures and graphs in here, these to reformat are going to be your, just like you would shrink this, right? These are your reformatting to make it fit, rescale it, flip it around, and bring it back and forth over here, okay? Any questions on, I'm sorry.
Deb, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Great, it's Maria. Unwanted clear formatting. If you have a table that you paste into a Word document, once you have it like you want, can you remove that table? Can you go from table to text?
You sure can. Let me see.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, this one, I actually don't have this one in a table. I have this one in a, oh no, actually this one is in a table. So from here, you're going to come back over to your home. Now, here's the thing with the clear formatting, right? So it's going to remove it all. Nope, it didn't do that. You want table to text. I know how to do that in Excel. Table to text.
Yeah.
That's going to be under data. Marie, let me look that one up for y'all. So you want, I know how to do table to text to table in Excel, but I don't know how to do it in Word, but I'll Google it and create a sheet for you.
Isn't it under layout?
Ooh, yeah, if somebody's got some stuff, I appreciate you. So layout. Oh, well, that's easy.
Where is it?
So you would do split cells or split table. I'm on a table, so I would go ahead and do split table. Don't like what that did. I'm still here if somebody wants to.
Split
All right,
table
so here we
merge.
go. Instead of doing split table, I did split cells. And then I wonder if I can take these to 0 and 0. Nope. Whoever came off mic and knew that I needed to go to layout, do you have other insight?
Convert the text over to the right. Look, Deb, right before formula, all the way to the right. Ooh wee!
Oh,
Get out of here!
and the
Thank you.
teacher, I love it. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely, I just made a note. I'll go ahead and do some screenshots like I did with this one.
Convert. So where was that?
It is on your,
Layout.
yep, our friend help us. It's on
Convert to
layout.
text.
Yes, ma'am.
This is being recorded. This is being recorded so we can watch it again.
All
Perfect.
right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you for the question. Okay. I want to get into a little bit of Excel stuff. I have 48 or it's 2:48, so I've got just a few minutes. What I want to talk to you all, the one that I think is probably really useful, specifically for those of you that get a lot of reports that are downloaded out of maybe our student information system or our HRIS, our human resources information system. And a lot of times that data is, right, you don't drive how the data comes out, you just get it. And so sometimes like an address has the, it's all in one cell, right? And you want it to have street, city, state, zip, for example. So I want to show you all, if you don't know how to do the text to column in Excel, that's what we're getting ready to go to. So what is text to column? It splits the information in a cell out into their individual cells or columns. And we use it for dividing out, like I said, things, for example, if you had somebody last name, comma, first name, and you wanted to have a last name in its own column and then first in its own name. That becomes helpful in many ways. One of them is for when you are analyzing the data and sorting and filtering it. You have more autonomy towards what you're looking at, so it's really helpful. And then, of course, you'll get the link when I share the resource. And let me go ahead and do this survey link to you all first before I lose you. Go ahead and put this in the chat. So here is the survey link. All right. Okay, and then let me get my PowerPoint link for you all. Right, it's connecting to that. I'm going to go ahead and share my Excel. So, oh, hang on, here it comes. Save to the cloud. All right, so when we are on an Excel file, and let's say that we have all right, so we have some names here, and this you can have tons of data in here. I'm just going to show you for simplicity purposes real quick how to do this. And again, I have the link also in the PowerPoint to show you. So when you have your column here, I'm going to go ahead and give these headers by just putting name. And I want these to really be divided up by last, or I'm sorry, first, first and last. In order to do that, what you need to do is be on in a cell where the data is. This all lives under data. So I want you again to think about my data doesn't look right. I want to divide it out. And when you are on the data tab, you're going to see this text to columns feature. When you click that, it's essentially going to walk you through the instructions sheet come up. So it's basically going to tell you, look, here's what we got going on. You're telling me you want to separate this out from being together and then separate. And here's what it looks like currently, right? And we're going to say, look, we have, because I know that we have no commas, ours is divided by a space. So you need to pay attention to what divides your data. In my case, it's a space. If I did last name, comma, first name, then it would be divided by a comma. So in this case, we're saying, yep, it is separated by commas, tabs, or spaces. Oops, I'm sorry, I have the fixed width. Up here is for commas in between. This is for spaces. So you do the fixed width. It's showing you what it looks like, and then you go through the prompts. And you're going to tell it, I want you to create a blank, right? So I want this one in, I want this to be John. And then I want Smith to go here in the next column. You're going to have it just be general text. And where do you want this new name to live? And you can select from your sheet, but I have it, this is where it is. And I want it to be here and here. And then do finish. I know that was a very quick. I'll do it again. You're on Jackbox. And if I do this for the whole column, it'll do it for the whole column. So let me do the rest of the column for you all. Text to column. So now I'm on the whole column. My information is divided with a space. So I'm going to keep the fixed width. I'm going to do next. Now it's showing me my name doesn't have another name, so it's just going to sit with name. Oh,
I have a question. Do Columbus
Yeah.
City offer employees extra support when it comes to technology besides us having these PD days if we need
yeah.
it?
No, I appreciate that so much. So yes, I am your gal. So it is new. I am the only one in the role. So we are working on a couple of things, a couple initiatives, but one of those is kind of setting these up on more of a routine basis in bigger groups, so that we can get them to you all outside of a PD day. But I am always available for conversations. If there's something that I can't help you with, I can get you to somebody who can. So I will put my contact information in the chat as well. You know, please reach out if there is an area that you need some support in. We want to go ahead and talk so I can help you out. I'm not always going to be the person because I'm one, but I have, you know, we have other people in the district and outside the district that we can utilize to help support that need too. Okay, it is 2:56. I talked a lot. Is there anything? Let me get the PowerPoint. Is there anything that anybody would like to come off mic and ask?
I do have a question. Somebody sent me, excuse me, an Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to edit. And when I share it, well, do I have to share it every time I make an edit, or is that automatic? Will the other person that sent it to me receive it every time I change it?
You got an Excel spreadsheet, you said?
Yes.
Are you editing it in the cloud, or are you editing it in the app? And here's how you'll know.
Oh, in the cloud.
In the
Yes.
cloud. Yes, ma'am. Then, yep, every time every time they open it, they will see it in its live form. Yep, you don't have to keep resharing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, if you want them, one thing
excuse
to
me.
know is if it's something that you really want them to be aware of, and maybe it's a document they don't access that often, you know, you can send them another reshare so that they
Okay.
know that you've been in it recently. But if it's something that you all collaborate on or access, you know, on a daily basis,
No.
they'll see it in its most recent. Yep,
Okay, thanks.
you're welcome.
You started to say how you know the difference whether you're in the cloud or on the app. How do you know that?
Perfect. For Excel?
Yes.
All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. Excel, where are you? You were just there. There you are. All right. So this version right here, this is how the easiest way for me to, it's going to be a visual for you, really. You know that this is the app version. When I go over here to my share, it's not like a live share. I don't see anything up here that says editing. I don't see anything that says like it's a real time. So let me show you what that looks like when I open this in the web version. Oops. Open, come on, web. Hang on, oops. I'm gonna open up a new Excel and just start over.
Yes, I didn't know how to switch to the editing mode, so I was told I had to first name what folder I wanted it to be in and then export. It was traumatic. No, no, but it was interesting.
So funny, I've been on you think I've never been on a live Excel before. I'm I'm waiting for my apps to come up. There we go. Okay, let me share this version. Okay, this will look different for you. All right. So the best way for me to tell anybody, whether somebody in the districts asks you, hey, are you on the web version or the app version or the client version? The easiest way to know if you're on the web version is the minute that you see the ability to open up another tab, search the web. Makes sense? So when I was on the Excel application, see, I don't have the ability, I'm back on the desktop version. I don't have the ability to open up an Internet Explorer or a Bing or a Firefox. But when I go back to the web version of anything, whether it's your email, Excel, Microsoft Forms, this is how you can tell. So then you also start getting some cool share features. You can get, it just looks more like it's ready to collaborate with somebody. Is that helpful?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. All right, I need to quickly go back, get my file location. Lots of windows. Come on. All right, let's just do, I'm going to do this. All right, here's the file. Those of you that are hanging with me, I'm trying to get this link for the OneDrive file. There we go, yay. Technology can even frustrate those who use it every day. So for those of you that are still with me, I'm trying to get you all this darn link. I will go ahead. For those of you that want to stay on, I will stay on with you and get the link. For everybody else, I don't want to keep you. You may, oh wait, we go to 3:15. Oh my gosh, I could have been doing, I'm so sorry. I thought we were done at 3. I am so sorry. I want to show you something else then. It's the now function in Excel, my bad. So let me go ahead and share the now function. So the now function, it's basically a formula that we use in Excel. What it does is it displays the current day and time, but it is also pretty useful in adding or subtracting days. So I thought that this function would be valuable for those of you that have maybe time tickers. So maybe you have a student who every 15 days you check in with and you do a report. Or maybe you have a document that you're collaborating on and you want somebody to timestamp when they add a line. Whatever your situation is, there are ways to go ahead and use this now function. So let me go ahead and go back into my Excel. And I am going to be doing this on the app version, but it does work on the online version as well. Now, if you're familiar with formulas, you'll know that formulas start with the equal sign. So when we are in a cell, and I can go ahead and name this timestamp. And then you could have last name, and position or department, for example. Go ahead and expand these columns out. Some people go and expand out the column by double clicking at the end of these columns, but if you have more than one column that needs to be expanded, instead do this little button here that collects all of the rows and columns, and then just go to the end of one of them and double click, and it expands them all for you. So just a little tip for you if you didn't know. But on the timestamp here, we can go ahead and type in equal, because that is what sets up letting Excel know that we want to insert a formula. And the formula that we're going to be using is the now formula. So if I hit enter now, it's going to give me an error message because it doesn't know what now is. We have to close this. You always have to close out a formula. In this case, I can go ahead and just put the open parentheses and hit the enter button. And that's going to go ahead and pop in the current day and time that exists on your computer time, right? So I think we're Central Time or Eastern Standard. I think we're Eastern Standard Time, one of those two. That's what is going to display, is your current time zone that's set up on your computer. Now, if I wanted to add some days to this, I do the same idea. I put in the equal sign, I type in the now, I open my parentheses, but then I want to close it because now that's saying, hey, look, I want you to look at today. So today is the open close parentheses, and then I want you to add 5 days. So I just do add 5, And now it's going to add 5 calendar days to my today, whatever my today is. Now you can take these formulas and copy these down. You can just go ahead and do this little drag button here. And so anytime that somebody comes, if I come in here tomorrow, this day, these days are going to change because it's set to, I have it set for today. So it'll change with each day that we come in, if that makes sense. If you want to, and I want to show you a cool little function sheet that I have that will come through when we, it's on.
Debbie, when you have a
Yes, ma'am.
minute, we do have a question.
Go for it.
Daisy asked the question. I'm so sorry, I just moved it.
That's okay. While she's looking, just know that with the now function, you can do this for months. You can do it for weeks. You can do it for days. So you can also use this as reminders as well. And if you don't want the timestamp on there, then you're going to go ahead and just do your equal now. You're going to do your open and close, and then just type today. Oops. I think I have to do plus today.
So Debbie, the question is, can we align our technology training to cover the I can't say it, civic service test for the technology portion?
Oh my God, whose question was that?
Daisy Slaughter.
Daisy, girl, that is
Awesome,
wonderful.
right?
That is an amazing suggestion, and absolutely, please get in touch with me so we can start talking about what that looks like. 100%.
Debbie,
Brilliant.
I actually wanted to read that question because I think that option would be a great option for the 3:30 to 4:30 trainings that we have for our new orientation, but also for our classified staff. I think helping them with the civil service test and technology will be a great piece for that.
Yeah, I agree. So let's
Let's talk
Daisy,
more.
yep, send me an email. All right, so we did the time here, right? So if we go back into the cells, you can see your formula up here in the formula bar. So this was just our day and time. This is our current day plus 5 days. And then this one I just did equal today instead of equal now. So if you don't like the timestamp on there, you can just go ahead and do the equal today. But the one thing that I thought was really cool about this one was the ability to put those days on there for things that you have to track, okay? With that, I'm going to take questions while I also figure out my own technology woes and get you all this document. Please be kind to me, computer.
The link isn't opening until 3:20.
What link isn't opening until, oh, the survey link?
Yeah, because when you were having trouble, I went over to that and it says the meeting won't open until 3:20.
Oh, yeah, they're probably, yeah, so that's a really cool thing with Microsoft Forms. If any of you are doing any kind of forms building, which is basically just collecting responses, if you will, it's like a survey. You can set it up to not open until a particular time. So that'll allow you, like maybe you aren't ready to collect the responses yet. Maybe you're still, you want one more person to look at it before you let it go live. You know, whatever your situation is, you can go ahead and set up those parameters.
So Debbie, I think they were referring to that is an optional. You do not have to 3:20. You can go on to do a closing, but you do not have to do that. If you complete the survey, you are done for today.
Thank you, Melvina. Yes, I did hear that completely wrong. Oh, somebody said we miss you. I miss y'all too. For those of you who are not aware, I was out in the field, so a lot of East Side, Central City time, 6 years out. So yes, I miss you all as well. I hope that you are all doing well, and I hope that you all reach out. This video will be posted on the district's YouTube site for professional development area, and I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.